Welcome back to another episode of Midnight Sun. Today, I want to talk about the universal language, or some call it signs, some call it the voice of God, some call it omens. There's so many names for it. Some call it gnosis. Um, we all can tap into this, but I feel like certain people know how to tap into it more because they're more aware of things around them. They're more aware of themselves and how they just connect with God or connect with their spirit guides, their ancestors, whatever you name it, whatever your faith is, whatever your religion is. They know how to connect with that source. That's all the universal language really is connecting with the source, whatever way that may be, because there's infinite ways to connect with that source. But for me, and for a lot of people, honestly, some people get messages through music, through songs, through lyrics. You may hear something on the radio at the right time, like that will trigger you in a good way or in a bad way. Like it may trigger you. Being triggered is a part of speaking this language because it grabs your attention, it grabs your awareness. And that needs to happen for you to actually have these realizations, these epiphanies, these moments of clarity, these moments of confirmation. And that's what makes this language so powerful, because it can reach you through any way. Literally, it can reach you through any way. And that's why I love it so much, because it's like beyond just what I know. It's always reaching me in a new way. And even if it's not reaching me in a new way, it gives me a new profound respect and awareness for this divine intelligence around me. And I'm a part of that divine intelligence. So let me start with how I learned about the universal language, or where I get that term from. It was from the book The Alchemist. And when I read that book, man, I was already had gone through my spiritual awakening and stuff like that, but I was going through another one. Because you don't just go through one awakening. You don't just go through one rebirth, or you constantly evolve throughout your life. You constantly go through lessons and cycles throughout your life. So during this time, I think it was about 2015, 16, I can't really fully recall the year, but it was around that time. A good friend of mine, gave me the book. I didn't know what to expect, but I did hear a lot of good things about the book. And when I read it, man, it was just like, wow. Perfect timing, divine timing, just divine everything. Like everything was aligned in that moment for me when I read that, because it gave me faith to just go outside of everything I was used to. I was still holding on to the past. I was still holding on to this and that. But that book right there sent me on a journey, it sent me deeper on my journey. Let me say that. It sent me deeper into my journey. And I'm just forever grateful for that book, because it really confirmed what I was already experiencing since childhood. If you listen to my other podcasts, you will hear me talk about how as a kid I would have all this deja vu. I would just see all these signs around me constantly. I would be observing everybody. I will be tapping into people's minds without them really knowing. Empathy, all these psychic abilities and stuff like that. Even when it comes to animals, I was getting signs from animals. I remember when I was a kid, a bird literally landed on my shoulder. And I know nobody would believe that, but hey, it happened to me. It was a pigeon. It landed on my shoulder, and honestly, doves and pigeons is like a spirit animal for me. It's a spirit guide for me for sure in this lifetime. So I didn't know that until later on, until I really started to try to decipher and decode the signs I was getting around me. And what really made me want to decode and decipher things was not only my dreams, but I was starting to see repeated numbers. I know that's very common. Some people call it angel numbers, but I don't believe in angel numbers. I believe just the universe, this matrix is coded like its numbers are very important. It's a building block to life, literally. So when I started to see numbers and stuff, I just started to everything was like calculation to me. Everything was just math. I was just like deep into math and numbers and the meaning behind numbers, the power behind numbers, the symbology. As you can see, I'm wearing 33 right now. That's my life path number. Yeah, I just got into numerology. I got into all this stuff, and I just started to study, writing everything down in my journals. And it got to a point where I didn't need to study no more. I didn't need to write anymore. I didn't need to search for things anymore. And that was a big part of me naturally tapping into the universal language. Once you go through that whole studying, building up your brain and your knowledge on it, it will start to come to you naturally. Like, you wouldn't need to look up on Google or whatever what this means or what that means. You're going to know it because it's just, your inner sense will know it, because you have a divine intelligence. You have a divine intelligent soul or spirit or just knowing within you. You have the gnosis within you. We all do. We all do. And the only thing that's stopping you from realizing that is all the distractions around you. And even with the distractions, you can still tap in. You can still tap in no matter what. It's a birthright, literally. That's a part of your soul. You can't get rid of that. You can't stop somebody from seeing the truth, because the truth is truly who we are deep in the core of our being. Like, you can't erase that no matter what you do. So yeah, so after I was doing all the decoding and just deciphering everything left and right, I just let it come to me naturally. And now I can look at other people who are into like decoding everything, conspiracy theories, this and that, numerology, all this other stuff. And I don't judge people for it or anything, but I just spread a message not to get too consumed into it, because it can drive you crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It can drive you crazy to try to decipher everything. Or some people try to look for like conspiracies and everything. They try to look for the truth in everything, when you don't even really need to look. A blind man can see all this. A blind man can feel all this. Like, the best way to navigate through darkness is to have heart. Your heart is your compass. That's your moral compass right there. Your heart is your best guide that you got. And the heart is how you get in tune with this divine intelligence. It's atonement, literally. Like, I like to think of my heart as a brain too. Like, you can think from your heart, but it's called feeling. Like, you have to embrace your feeling, your sensitivity. You can't demonize being sensitive. I'm a Cancer moon. I feel everything, and I embrace it nowadays. Now I do. Back in the day, I would run from it. I would try to distract myself. I would try to, just cover it up. And I still kind of do that with humor and everything, but humor is medicine for me. So I try not to get too carried away. I try to keep everything in moderation. That's a big lesson for me when it comes to the divine language too. Moderation. Like, don't be trying to read everything. Don't be trying to read into everything, because, like I said, going down that rabbit hole, you can go at a speed that you don't want to go. Trust me, I've been there. You can go at a speed you don't want to go. You can fall at a speed you do not want to go. So take it easy on yourself. Take it easy on your awareness, on your mind, your soul, your spirit, your heart. Like, just take it easy. It's not a race. It's not a race to know all. You don't even want to know all. Trust me. You don't. I don't even think you can physically handle knowing it all. If If you knew it all, what's the point of you even being here? Earth is a school. Like, this is school right here. It's teaching you about yourself. And it's going to take a couple of lifetimes sometimes. Like, every soul don't get it right the first time, and that's okay. But yeah, everything in moderation. Trust me. So when it comes to the universal language, there's artists out here that can tap into it so good, like just through their craft. I know I speak on an outlet, like a creative outlet on every episode, because that is the main thing that's going to help you on your journey. Like, you got to find an outlet for your soul, for your spirit. Imagine the sun without an outlet. The sun is literally letting out light constantly. It's giving life, and it takes it away too. The sun is the best thing we can use as a metaphor when it comes to this. And in the history of man, the sun has always been the most used symbol when it comes to the divine language. Like, you can go to any culture, the sun is like the main symbol they use. So if you really want to tap into divine language, you got to study first. Then you got to realize, and then you got to relax. Because you can't force this on nobody else. You damn sure can't force it on yourself. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't recommend it. Don't force nothing. Because this force you're trying to tap into is beyond you. You have to approach it with respect. Just like in the Bible it says fear of God, it doesn't actually mean fear God. It means to respect God. Like, approach God with sacredness, with just devotion, and just try to see the bigger picture. It's not all about you. The divine language is not all about you. And that's what I had to realize too, because at one point when I was tapping into the divine language, I got this, like, what do they call it? Like, main character syndrome. I started basically thinking the whole universe revolves around me. And it does in a way, in a metaphoric way, but not for everybody. Like, once you see the bigger picture, we're all here together. Like, it's not all about you. It's all about us. And it's always been about us. So, try not to use the divine language in a selfish manner, because, like I said, it's beyond you. It's something that actually teaches compassion. It will teach you compassion about not only other humans, not only other people, but like every living thing. You would approach it in a sacred way. Even a rock, like a crystal, you would approach it in a sacred way. So anything can be a sign, but everything doesn't have to be a sign. And that goes for conspiracy theorists too out there, because y'all be getting carried away sometimes. I love y'all, but sometimes you gotta relax, man. Just relax. Because most of the conspiracies y'all come up with, you can't do nothing about it. And you can't fully prove it, so just relax. I know you want to spread the truth, but the truth really don't need your help to be spread. The truth is always right there. Just like the divine language is always right there in your face. Nothing is hidden when your eyes are open. When the veil is off, nothing is hidden. Nothing. Literally, nothing is hidden. That's why, since I was a kid, I would always be able to read somebody's energy. Like, I would just, in a way, I would look through them and see everything, feel everything. It's really a feeling, though. Because when I say see, I'm really talking about feeling it. Just, it's like an inner knowing, an inner feeling. It's all connected. Emotions, mental, it's all connected. So, just ease into it. Don't don't drive yourself crazy trying to tap into the divine language or synchronicity or gnosis, whatever you want to call it, whatever you call it. Relax. Like, you don't, it's not a race to get to wherever you're trying to go. That's what society needs to realize in the first place. Everybody's out here just constantly going nonstop and not really relaxing, sitting back, sitting still in silence and processing what's really going on this planet. And I think a lot of people need to sit down and just reflect. Like, the whole quarantine, I expected a lot of people to go through their awakenings, and they did, but I feel like there's a lot more awakening to happen. So there's a lot more realization that needs to be happening collectively, not just with a select group of people that choose it, but we all need to like realize what's going on. If you look around, there's chaos everywhere right now. There's storms just tearing through cities and wars and just rumors of war. Everything your good books warned you about. So, like, I feel like this time is a time to be sober-minded, to be relaxed. Try not to panic on like what's going around right now. Just try to reflect. Try to sit and process not only what's going on around you, but within you too, because these storms and everything is a reflection of what's going on within ourselves. As within, so without. So that's what I try to tell people. Like, these storms is manifested from us. It's not no heart machines out here brewing up storms for no reason. We got to take accountability for our own energy, our own collective chaos. Like, are we going to sit here and blame the government for everything when we know we have the power to change whatever we want to change? Are we going to just keep projecting that power onto them? Which one? You got to choose. You going to take your power? You going to take up for yourself? Or are you going to keep saying that they got the power and waiting for them to do something? That's my only issue with like conspiracy theorists and, you know, just people making up these rumors of the government creating this and that, which could be true. I'm not saying it's not true, but at the same time, we have the power to tap into all of this stuff. Think about our ancestors. Like, when it comes to these storms and stuff, these natural disasters, they lived through it because they knew how to tap into the elements. They knew how to tap into nature. Nowadays, we're so far removed from nature that we don't even process that we have the option to do that. But we know that machines can do that. But if you notice that machines are made in our image, then you'll realize, oh wow, hold up. If a machine can do it, I can do it. Duh. Where were you before the iPhones came around? You were outside, right? You were outside being you. And I guarantee you were just as tapped in than you think you were. I guarantee you were. But I don't want to talk too much about the divine language because I got some courses that I'm going to be doing soon on my Twitter. But yeah, stay tuned for that because I got some good gems that I want to teach. But I'm going to select the people who I teach because this type of stuff you got to be really, really responsible for. You can't be a selfish type of person. I got to scope you out. Just like your guides will scope you out. Your guides won't guide you to something knowing that you're not going to be responsible enough to handle it. Like, a lot of people get into magic and they think they can do it, but they really don't got it. the sauce like that. They don't got the juice. And hold up, laptop crashed on me. My bad. I was saying that people tap into magic, or they try to play with magic, and they don't know what they're doing. They out here trying to hex people left and right just because people don't agree with them or people do something to them that upsets them. No. Why aren't you using that magic for something more powerful than that? Like, you can let people go on about their day. They're going to get their karma. They're going to reap what they sow. Like, if you really about it, use that for something that's going to help us all. Not something that's going to create a cycle that's going to keep happening over and over with other people connected to you. You're going to just create, more storms. Where are the people that want to really, really master the art of spirituality or the art of whatever? Like, because I'm ready. I don't know about y'all. I've been ready. And I've been about this life. It's not something I just picked up along the way. But if you did just pick it up and you ready, then we will cross paths, because I know it's time. And I'm going to use my platform to spread everything I learned along the way, because I'm tired of holding, I'm tired of holding myself back from helping other people. I've always been willing to help other people, but I've always actually held back. I can do a lot more, and I'm ready to do a lot more. So if you are, just let me know. Follow me on Twitter, sub to my YouTube, sub to my podcast, come through. Let's do this for real. Peace.